Good evening, Unique Couples community. Welcome to another Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. We are Vito and Linda Patrick. We are here in Freeport, Grand Bahama in the Bahamas, and we just want to welcome you in. Go ahead and type in hashtag Live Squad. For those of you that'll be watching the replay, go ahead and type in hashtag replay. This evening, we're going to be in for a great conversation. We're going to be talking about to insure or not insure. And we have a special guest in the house with us, Giselle Taylor, who will be introduced a little bit later on. She's going to join us on the conversation this evening. So go ahead and go ahead and share. If you haven't subscribed to the Unique Couples YouTube channel, you want to go ahead and subscribe to the Unique Couples YouTube channel. Make sure you turn on that notification bell and select all so you can know every time we go live here at Unique Couples.
Yes, those we usually come on with some exciting love, sex, marriage, intimacy, communication, trust topic, and get your juices flowing. Those are definitely issues in marriage. But guess what? The topic today is something that affects us, whether you're married or not, and especially if you are married and have kids. This topic definitely impacts us all, especially in the climate of just so much of what has been happening in the world, and even here in the Bahamas and on Grand Bahamas. So, to insure or not to insure is the question, and we are excited to have Giselle with us to shed some light on, like what we need to be thinking about in times like these. And so we're excited for our sponsors who made this show possible. So big shout out to our sponsors, Hair to Please. You could go ahead and contact Hair to Please, let them know that Unique Couples sent you. Also Party with Serenity. And of course, the Nail Lab Creation. Big shout out also to we'd say my hair people, New Growth Beauty Salon, and yes, Signature Choices. So that's where you get all your sexy gear and wear. So shout out to all of them. And so today we're talking about to insure or not to insure. That is the question. So we'll invite Giselle to come on. Tell our viewing audience a little about you. We are so thankful that you're here to share with us. Tell them a little about you, and we're all ears.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you so much, Vito and Linda, for having me. It's indeed a pleasure to be on Unique Couples to discuss a topic that I don't think gets talked about enough. Mm-hmm. And so before we get into all of that, to the community, good evening again. My name is Giselle J. Taylor. I am I guess you can call me 24-year vet in the financial service industry. I spent 21 years in retail banking, 3.5 years in insurance. I currently hold a bachelor's degree in finance, and I am pursuing my master's in accounting and financial management. So I am really, really, really serious about this thing.
Definitely.
I am currently employed. Let me back up. I am a licensed long-term insurance salesperson, and that is very important. And I am currently employed at Freeport Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Awesome. Yes. So that's like a whole lot. I heard banking, I heard insurance, I heard something else. Yes. So you can see that you definitely love to be in this area, helping people and making sure that they make sound decisions as it relates to protecting and securing and just making provisions for their family. So it is definitely great to have you join us today.
Yes.
Yes, it's great to be here.
You mentioned licensed long-term insurance?
Yes.
But can you explain that, please?
Sure. Okay. So most people don't know or are not aware The insurance industry composes of general insurance, which is homeowners, contractors all risks, public liability, car insurance, if you have a boat, if you have a plane, it encompasses, that's the general side of insurance. Long term, if you think of the word long, we're talking about an extended period of time. So medical insurance, disability covers, as well as life insurance. Because when you're talking about thinking down the road or planning futuristically, that is where the long-term part comes into it. When you think about, disability, you might not be able to work for 3 months, 6 months, long term. So that is the distinction between general and long term. So you would have sometimes customers would come in, or I'll get a phone call stating, oh, I need to insure my car. I want to insure my car, or I'm looking for a homeowner's quote. By right, legally, I'm not licensed. I should not be giving quotes because I'm not licensed to do that. And that's why I stress that in my introduction. For anyone, if you're considering insurance, you need to be mindful of where you go and to inquire whether or not the person that you are dealing with is really licensed to be dealing with your insurance.
Okay, awesome.
Oh,
Great,
yes, that's
great
definitely
information.
good
Yes.
to know.
Yes.
So, can you tell us what are some reasons people may decide not to get insurance?
Well, some reasons, one of the main reasons is price. People consider insurance to be costly. Depending on the type of insurance that you are getting, it can be costly, it can be pricey, but at the same time, you have to look at the flip side. If you do not have it, the cost now falls on you and your personal resources. Another reason could be because you have people in their 20s, 30s. Oh, I'm young. I don't need insurance. That's for old people. Some people might not have encountered a health crisis. I'm healthy. I don't need insurance. What do I need insurance for? And then you have those situations where individuals might have had a bad experience with a particular agent or a particular company as a result to a particular agent. And therefore, it gives the industry a bad rep. I've heard horror stories, thankfully, I've never experienced it, but I've heard people's situations, and it's sad and it's with any industry that you get involved in. You're going to have people who are unscrupulous. That's just how the world is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's why it's up to the individual to do as much due diligence as you possibly can, as well as to get as much education on what it is that you are seeking out. I'm big on educating, especially within the finance space, because I honestly believe if people have enough education or enough information, if they are informed enough, they can better make the decisions that apply to them and their loved ones. So those are just, some of the reasons why people would just choose not to insure. I've even heard someone told me, what do I need life insurance for? I did. That ain't my problem. That's for them who behind to bury me.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, not necessarily the right attitude to have, but you're entitled to feel that the way you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is definitely really sad because, some of us are at the opposite extreme where we're really thinking about what will happen to my family, what will happen to my kids,
Right.
if I were to, die, like what, how would life be easier or more difficult? And how could I make it at least a little bit easier where they don't have to worry about certain things, especially as it relates to, home and all of these things that need to be secure. So that is definitely like a different attitude towards actually the people who you love and who were actually, there for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, one of the things that a lot of people don't, I guess, realize, not so much understand, is that insurance is about financial loss mitigation. Okay. Insurance is not an investment by any stretch of the imagination,
Mhm.
because it really does not. An investment gives you a return, and you could possibly lose everything that you put in. So it's almost like a 50-50. And insurance is not that. Insurance is simply, how can I lessen my financial loss if a risk happens?
Yeah.
What are risks? Risks are those unexpected things that we pray that they don't happen. Some will eventually happen.
Mhm.
Um, and so, what can I do to safeguard? Like you said, Linda, how can I protect my family, especially when there's a spouse and young children involved? You have to think about those people. If you have aging parents that you take care of, all of this you have to think about. If you have a disabled sibling or a disabled family member that's dependent upon you, that you're taking care of, you have to think, okay, if something was to happen to me as the main breadwinner, how is my family going to survive? And like I mentioned, it's to mitigate against financial loss due to risks. What are some of the risks? From the general side, you know, homeowners, God forbid, we hope to never see another Dorian again in this lifetime.
No.
But should a hurricane decide that it wants to traverse, I have homeowners insurance. And what that does is, if it takes the structure, if there's damages, then I can rebuild again. Okay. Now, the thing with that is, a lot of people learned, not just in Dorian, it happened in Matthew,
Mhm.
and it happened in Francis and Jane too. Okay. A lot of people found out at that time that they were underinsured. Okay. Now, you build your house, it's valued at 250,000. You've been in the house maybe 5 years. You did some upgrades, but you didn't go back to the insurance company and say anything. By doing those upgrades, the value of your house increased, but you never change your insurance value. So when something happens and you go to put in a claim, you find out then, okay, well, it's only 250, but your house is actually valued 350. You're underinsured. Now, I know most people would say, well, the insurance company, they didn't come back to me and ask me. Yeah, but it's also your responsibility too. It's your asset. So try to protect your asset as best you can. Now, if you are okay with the fact that the house gets destroyed, value at 350, the insurance company willing to pay you 200, you could absorb the 150,000, by all means, go ahead. But if you know financially that you are not in the position, and yes, this is another thing too I need to interject. We live in what is considered the hurricane zone. We live in the Caribbean. And so once a hurricane passes through the Caribbean, it's not just the Bahamas. Once a hurricane, a major storm, passes through the Caribbean and there are claims put in, the entire region is going to be affected with increases.
Mhm.
So that's why you might see, like in Nassau, they didn't have the experience we had in Grand Bahama or Abaco with Dorian, but they saw increases in their insurance
Yep.
because you know, we live where God reside in the beautiful Caribbean. And so unfortunately, that's one of the downsides. Um, as well as content insurance. You could do homeowners plus contents, or you could decide for those who rent, take out content insurance. A lot of people think because I rent, because my landlord has insurance, if something happens, they are going to, you know, restore my stuff, or I'll be able to get my items back. That's not the case. The building, the landlord might have insurance for the building, but in terms of the contents, that is entirely up to you. Now, also with car insurance, simply there are two options: comprehensive or third party. Third party simply means if I hit somebody, my insurance would take care of their damages. Comprehensive, I hit somebody, the other person's car gets repaired, and I also could take care of my car. Comprehensive would be more expensive. And here's another tad bit too. A car after 10 years, it makes no sense holding that car in comprehensive insurance unless it's really a high-end luxury car,
Wow.
because you'll be paying the high premium, but you're still only going to get the book value for that vehicle. Okay. And so, these are some of the things that people are not aware of, that I think, like I said, I love the idea of having this conversation, because people get educated on what it is I need to know. What are some of the questions that I need to ask? Same thing on the life side, life and medical. Um, a lot of persons don't know medical insurance is expensive. Yes, I agree. Yeah, it's pricey, but it's good to have if you are able to afford it for hospitalization. Okay. The one-off situations, the annuals, some of those things we ourselves can pick up. Because a little key here, when you present that insurance card,
Yeah.
the price begins to change a little bit. But anyhow,
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we know about that.
so Giselle, as you dive into the life and the medical of the insurance, right? Can
yes.
you also let our viewing audience know what are some key areas of insurance that is a must?
Okay.
And
So
also for those of you that have just joined us, we have Giselle Taylor with us this evening. We're talking on to insure or not to insure. So that's what we're talking about this evening. Very powerful conversation, very educational, very informative.
Yes, thanks for joining us. I see Deborah is here, Claudine, Kathy, PM, Doris, Julie, and the rest of you who are joining us live and who will catch the replay. Go ahead and hashtag replay in
And
the chat.
and make sure give Giselle some likes, some hearts,
Yes.
send out some love.
And share, like she said, Giselle said, this is conversations that we need to have and people need to know so that they can ask the right questions. And I'm sure if some people, if they really, hindsight is, you can't really talk. We can't do Monday back, what you call it?
Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, we can't be doing that, right? But I'm sure if some people heard some of this information before Matthew, before Dorian, and kind of like educated on this, some of them would have made some different choices and would have been in a different situation now after the storm. So go ahead and share. That's what we're saying. I said all that to say, share and tell someone, help someone, because we're talking about to insure or not to insure, and in some ways, areas you may need to, and we'll talk about the rest.
that's a good way to put it.
Yes.
So, like I say, for medical is really pricey. There's no way around it. It really is costly. I know a lot of people, due to employment, thank God for employment, they're able to have at least medical insurance for the breadwinner. Now, the key with medical is that there are two plans: copay, and then there's the deductible. Copay is simply where every time you go, you pay, you're responsible for this amount, the insurer picks up the other part. The thing with copay is that because it's copay, your monthly premium is going to be high. Okay. Deductible base is simply where you can have deductibles ranging from as low as $250, and this is for individual plans. Group plans are done on a different um, price level because of the number in the group. You're able to, the broker could negotiate some stuff for you. So I'm speaking specifically to individual plans. So your deductible could range from $250 and can go all the way up to $10,000. Now, somebody hears that and they'd be like, why would I want a $10,000 deductible? Or why might I want a $5,000 deductible? Here's the key. You come in, you make application. I want a $250 deductible. Okay. $250 deductible can net you around $300 to $400 monthly premium. Whereas if you were to take a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 deductible, that will drop your monthly premium down to maybe $100, under $200. And like I try to get people to understand and to see, $5,000 sounds like a lot. It really sounds like a lot. But when your life is on the line, or you go to the doctor and they give you a diagnosis that you really don't want to hear, and you begin thinking about those loved ones, that spouse, those children, that the family members, you would be surprised at how quickly you can galvanize $5,000. And another thing I tell people too is, okay, yes, the deductible is $5,000. Try stashing that money away into an account and leave that there. Do not touch that. So that if you are faced with a situation where you have to be hospitalized, you have the deductible. Some plans, you cover the deductible, and then there's still a copay portion. And for some of them, they tell you what the max for the copay would be depending on the procedure. There's some procedures that there is no copay for. You just cover your $5,000 or your $2,000, whatever the deductible amount is. But, understand that the higher the deductible, the lower the monthly premium. The lower the deductible, the higher the monthly premium. Can I honestly and realistically sustain a $300 monthly premium, which works out to be, I think, around, is it 3,600, I think, in a year, if I'm not mistaken, or thereabouts?
Yeah.
When you could have been putting that into an account that you may never have to use, but paying that monthly premium, that $300 every month, that money is gone. And so insurance, especially medical, it's like an umbrella. We know it will rain. We don't know when it may rain. We don't know where it may rain. And we don't know for how long it may rain. But what we do know is if I have a little something that could help sustain me. Now, when it comes to life, one more point about medical. So females, unfortunately for us, medical insurance is more expensive because we go to the doctor more. We're the ones that have the babies and all of that wonderful stuff. We know men don't go to the doctor. So medical insurance for males cheaper than females. Okay. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Now, as it relates to life insurance, and I say this again, if you have a spouse, if you have children, if you have aging parents, or a family member that's able to work, all of those that are depending on you as the main breadwinner, you need to have life insurance. Like Linda said earlier, God forbid something happened to you. You don't want your family to have to be displaced by being put out of the home because they can't carry the mortgage, or your assets have to be taken because there's no financial means. Now you're gone. So that source of income, that steady source of income that was coming in all the while, it's no longer. And so you have to think about the people that I'm going to leave behind. Vito, think, how would you feel? You're no longer here. Linda and your family here. And they now have the responsibility of thinking, Lord, what we can do, how we keep the lights on, how this is going to get paid, how are children going to eat, how I don't know what's going on with the mortgage, I don't know what's happening. That stress that alone within itself can take a person out. Mm-hmm. If we want to be honest about it, and if you love and care enough about that person, you would make sure that you have these things in place. Now, when it comes to life insurance, everybody don't need $1 million policy or $5 million policy. Some people don't even need $500,000. But what you need to do is look at your overall financial picture. Look at your assets. Take your annual income, what it is that you're used to living off of. And then think about that amount. If you need to rework it, think about how much children you have. How old are the children? Are they of adult age? Are they minors? How long before they go off to college? All of these things you need to take into consideration. And then think about an amount that you can, there again, sustain the monthly premium for. What you would then do, contact an agent, tell them you're looking for life insurance. Now, there are mainly two types of life insurance. There is whole life, which means you have coverage your entire life until you die or you decide to stop paying the policy. You would have coverage, okay? If you die, it pays out a death benefit to your beneficiary. A component with whole life is known as cash value, okay? Cash value is where they take a portion of the funds and they set it aside so that after having this policy, and the key with cash value is you need to have that policy at least for a minimum of 10 years to actually see some growth in it. And if you decide after 10 years, 15 years, I no longer, want this policy, you could surrender it. And whatever the cash value is at that point, the insurance company will cut you a check. You would no longer be covered. Now, the thing about cash value only has value to you, the insured, if you decide, one, to cash it in, or two, if you decide to take out a loan against what's built up. Other than that, cash value really has no value to you because your beneficiary, if you pass, they're going to get the sum insured amount. Okay, so keep that in mind. And the thing about whole life is people have the concept, okay, I want something back. Life insurance is for the people you leave behind, not necessarily you, the one that's living. It sounds cold, but we're going to be honest in this conversation. I'm not going to pretty for you. I'm going to be honest. It's for the people you leave behind. Okay. And so if you want the whole life, fine. If you could sustain the payment, because payments for whole life policies are much higher than term, which is the second type of life insurance. Term life insurance is just what some people call it temporary. I say it's for a set period of time, minimum being 5 years. Some carriers do it to age 65. Some do it to age 80. There's one particular carrier that does it to age 100. Now, term life is cheaper because it does not have the cash value component, but it does pay a death benefit to those that you will leave behind. So it will serve the purpose, okay? It's just that, if you want something back, no, you're not gonna get anything back from it. But then you're thinking about the protection aspect for those, my loved ones. So I normally tell people, and I'm not ashamed to say, I have term policies. Okay, that's the type of policies I have because I understand it's not for Giselle. And Giselle doing some other things in terms of retirement and investing. Yeah. So, and it's cheaper. Okay. So, and with life insurance, because of the mortality rate of men, fellas, I'm sorry, life insurance is a bit more expensive for you compared to females. It's cheaper for females. And another thing, I know this is a lot of information, and I'm so sorry to be.
They could always watch the replay, so they could go back and
Yes,
rewatch it.
yeah, as many times.
Yes.
But, with life insurance, the longer you have it for, the reason they do 65, let me just backtrack. The reason they do the age 65 is because that's the retirement age. You're really looking for cover during your working years when you have a steady income coming in, and you're getting set up. Young adult, I'm getting a home, and I want to secure that home. And please remind me in case I forget. I need to drop a pin in that. I'm going to come back to that. And so you want to ensure that you secure those 40 years or however long you decide to work, that you have some protection in place if that something happens to you. So beyond 65, they do now have what is known as final expense plans. And these plans, for some carriers, you can get in up to under age 80, I think, for one particular carrier. So these plans, basically, it's so that if something happens to me, I have something in place, my family would be able to bury me. And that's all a final expense plan. Just think of the name, final expense. That's all it does. It will take care of your burial. Your family don't have to scratch their head. They don't have to hold your body for quite some time until they can garner the finances. And so if you, I keep going back to this, and I'll keep going back to it, Linda, so please forgive me. But if you care about those loved ones, you will make sure and secure them by taking out life insurance. Another thing too, life insurance is more expensive if you are a smoker versus if you are a non-smoker, because of the risks, that comes with smoking. They consider you, because everybody is underwritten based on their risk level. And so when you put in your application, they assess your risks. They assess your family history. If you would have had a family member that might have been stricken with cancer, if you have family member that might have been battling some heart disease, might have succumbed to heart disease. They take all of these things into consideration. And so, one of the common things that I know is prevalent here in the Bahamas, high blood pressure and hypertension. You may have this. That does not mean that you cannot get insurance, because each case is assessed on its own risks and family, what they dub family history. I don't call it family history, but anyhow, what they dub family history, you are assessed on that. Now, with that being said, here's the thing. They might decide to take on the risks. Whatever the premium is, that's what you pay monthly. They might write back and say, we're going to take on the risks, but we are going to rate you. And rating you simply means that they increase the premium. They could increase the premium up 200% if they decide to. With that, it's up to you to decide, I agree, I'll take it on. So I have the cover. But that's entirely up to you. And thirdly, they could decide to decline you. It does not mean that if insurance company A says no, insurance company B might say no. No, insurance company A just decide we're not willing to take on the risk. That's all it means. Okay. So don't think that, oh, I can't get insurance nowhere. No, that's not how it works.
I see this comment by someone here, and I think this is related to persons who are entrepreneurs or who are working, for themselves, and they have to do these, life and health and all of these different insurance. I guess it'll be a little different scenario for them. She says, my premium is
The premium is $2,200 every 3 months. It has a $500 deductible, so that's medical.
That's medical. That's medical. Yeah.
yeah.
So to what you were saying earlier, so if that deductible was a bit higher, then that premium probably would be lower.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
She says her deductible is how much?
$500.
Yeah. If the deductible was a little higher, yeah.
So basically, that $2,200 every 3 months, that's like about over $700 a month.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
and then taking into consideration now that VAT, I don't know if I won't go here, but anyhow, with adding VAT on, I guess I might as well say that VAT is added to medical insurance, but not life insurance.
yes.
So, yeah, it is unfortunate, but that's, unfortunately how it works.
So basically, the person can go ahead and talk to the agent that would have sold them the medical insurance.
Yes.
To see if the deductible can become higher, so the premium can become lower.
Yes, I would suggest get in contact with your agent. Let them know what other options do I have in terms of deductible, because this premium is a bit much. How can I best bring keep the premium manageable? I don't want to use the word lower. I prefer using manageable.
Yes.
Because there's a thing with words in our minds. And don't be afraid to have the conversations and ask the questions.
Yeah.
This is your money, your hard-earned money, and this is coming from an insurance agent. This is your hard-earned money that you work hard for. If you do not understand, say to them, Miss, Sir, hold on, I don't understand what it is that you're selling me, what it is that I bought. I need you to explain. By rights, they have an obligation to explain to you what it is that they sold you. By right, they do. Because like I said, it's your money.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. And if you don't know what questions to ask, maybe talk to, I don't know, a family member, a friend. Hopefully you'll catch this replay.
Yes.
talk to unique couples.
Talk to unique couples. Yes.
Point you in the right direction, right?
Hey, let me put a plug in. Call them up, hit them up on their social media page and find out what are some of the questions that I should ask. Because I know when somebody calls you especially when you on your job, and somebody call you, oh, I want to talk to you about insurance. Sometimes, we tell people, we say certain things to people just to get them off the phone or just to get them off our backs, I'll okay, whatever it is, I'll pay it. Not fully understanding that what it is I just got myself into, what this is I buy, because any policy that you take out should benefit you and your family. Okay, I can't stress it enough.
All right. We have another question in the chat.
This person wanted to know, what about retirement insurance? There
is no such thing as retirement insurance.
Okay.
There is something called an annuity, now there's an annuity, and what an annuity simply is that you go to, I think BAF and Family Guardian sells them. And let me just put this out there. By it being that I work at Freeport Insurance Agents and Brokers, we are agents and brokers that sell for different companies on the island. Okay, I don't want nobody to say, well, she worked at FIA. How come she talking about? Yes, we can sell for BAF. we can sell for Family Guardian, we can sell for Kalena. So I could tell you what products they have. Okay, so BAF and Family Guardian have annuities. And what annuities simply is that you go into them, okay, I want a $50,000 annuity. They give you a quote. And an annuity is where you put monies away now for the future. So you could buy 10-year annuity, 20-year, 30-year. Some of them do it to age 65. So that when you do turn that age, the annuity starts paying you. You could set it up where you get the lump sum, the 50,000, or you get a monthly amount as if you're getting a salary. Now, there are also endowments. An endowment is pretty much the same. They do, and you could do an endowment for 18 for a child. If you want to send some money ahead in preparation for college, or you can do an endowment to age 65, where it's the same thing. You tell them the amount, you get a quote for the monthly premium, and you pay that every month. Now, the thing about endowments is that if the insured dies, the person who takes out the endowment, that sum insured amount pays a death benefit to the beneficiaries. So that's one of the beauties of an endowment. The only thing about it is, depending on the time that you take the endowment out and the amount, the monthly premium could be a lot because it's less time for the money to grow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there any other questions?
Yes, and I think this one here would go back to something you would have mentioned earlier. So for newlywed couples, what are some insurances they should be considering?
Life insurance, medical insurance. Are they in a home? Are they thinking about, and I'm glad you went back here, are they thinking about getting a home? Then you have to think about homeowners. But basically, those are the three: homeowners, life insurance, medical insurance. Medical for the simple fact that newlyweds, chances are you want to have children. And a lot of plans would require, medical plans, they require that you be in the plan at least a year before you can access that maternity benefit. All right. So if, like I said, if you're thinking about having children, I strongly suggest, look at a medical plan. If you're thinking about getting a home, then you're going to need homeowners. In addition, you will need life insurance. Okay. Now,
that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one for couples. It's like, we just got married. Like, we're not thinking about anyone dying. We're thinking, honeymoon, and we're thinking all of the nice rosy stuff, and we're not thinking about that something could happen. And Anyway,
listen. I've not lived as long as some, but I've lived long enough to know that you can't rule anything out in this life. You don't. Old people say you ain't past nothing till you're dead. So you can't rule it out. But if you are a young couple and you're thinking about getting a mortgage, financial institutions will require, it's mandatory that you have life insurance, and it's simply to protect them, to protect their interests.
That's definitely for us here in the Bahamas. Some different parts of the world that might be a little different, but here in the Bahamas,
right. Here in the Bahamas, yes, I'm speaking mainly to us. Yes, you need to have that life insurance component, and the thing with that is, if you know you are going to apply for a mortgage, don't wait until the application process is about to close to go and take out a life policy, because the bank will not release the keys to you until that policy is in place and has been assigned to them. I've had situations, where persons, they've done everything else and then they leave that as the last part. And I'm like, this is not, you come in a 1-day process. It
Yeah.
takes time.
Takes time.
Because in addition, and this is something else I forgot, sorry, but in addition to, completing the application, making the initial premium for the life insurance, you are going to be underwritten. Your requirements could range from a saliva test to a full-on medical exam. And even then, it does not mean that you have been approved. Depending on what is stated in the results from the exam, the insurers could come back and ask for additional requirements. So a policy would, at face value, just from you simply answering some questions, looks like it may take a week, could sometimes run up to 3 weeks.
It'll take longer. Yeah.
Right. It takes longer because of requirements. So I encourage anybody who's if you're thinking about getting a mortgage, be it a couple or if you're single, make sure if you don't have life insurance, or even if you do have life insurance and you want another policy, because you don't want to tie up that one policy. And normally here's where I encourage people to really get term if you're doing it for the mortgage, because it's simply for that. If your mortgage is 25 years, take out a 25-year term. If your mortgage is 15 years, take out a 15-year term. It's going to be cheaper, and it's specifically for the mortgage. So once the mortgage is finished, the insurance is finished too. I don't have to worry about that. Hopefully you would have another policy besides that will take care of your family.
Awesome.
Definitely. So we're talking about to insure or not to insure. We have a few more questions, so stick around. We just want to shout out our sponsors. Thank you so much. Party with Serenity, Here to Please, Nail Lab Creations by Anna, and we sent out a big shout out to Style Me Pretty and New Growth Beauty Salon as well. So go ahead, hit them up. Let them know we sent you. And of course, Signature Choices. Make sure you check out Alex at Signature Choices. Okay, so
so go ahead. Also, put your takeaways in. If there are any other questions, you want to go ahead and put it in the chat, as we are about to bring this conversation to an end.
Cheryl and Cedric said, very informative session. And Deborah was hitting you up in the chat, in the comments. Okay, so this question says, what should singles and divorced persons be considering about insurance? Would it be different for, some of the advice you gave to the newlyweds? What would you say to those persons?
For singles, divorcees, it depends. Do you have kids? Do you have young children? Remember, insurance is about financial protection against financial loss and against risks. Risk of losing a home, risk of losing a car, risk of being having to stay off from work for an extended period of time, not 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're talking maybe 3 months, 6 months. You never know. And the inevitable, the risk of death. What it is that you want to protect against. So for singles and divorcees, if you are the main breadwinner and you have young children, you should have life insurance. You really should have life insurance, because let's be honest, and I want to delicately say this, people will say that they will do as long as your eyes are open. But the minute your eyes are closed, there's no guarantee of what will be done. Okay? And
so they'll say they'll help with the children, they'll take care of the children and be there for them, but the minute you're gone, it's a different story.
It's a different story. And so you have to take all of this into consideration. And saying that we circle back here, when you name your beneficiaries, especially when children are involved, be sure you can leave a child as a beneficiary, but you have to leave a trustee because they are under the age of 18. Now, whoever you designate as your trustee, be sure that is somebody you could really trust, who will do right by you in taking care of your children. Um, and so I would say for singles, divorcees, same thing. If you think you're going to have a child, you may decide that you want a child. Consider taking out medical insurance. Consider taking out life insurance. Same thing for the divorcee. It all depends on where you are on your journey and what it is that you are trying to accomplish or you want to accomplish. Insurance is just one element of the risk management of the financial planning, because financial planning is simply you deciding how I want to do what I want to do on this journey called life with my resources. And so risk management, which incorporates insurance, is one element or aspect of that. And these are the things that we just sometimes we take for granted. Sometimes because we don't know, we don't want to talk about it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Okay? There's nothing to be ashamed of. If you don't know, you simply don't know. But we are in an age where the information is out there. It's free. You could get it. And so take advantage of the free information and use it to your advantage.
Definitely, definitely. This has truly been an
Awesome
awesome, yes,
conversation. Yes.
informative. Like you
Lots
said,
of information.
we need to be having more and more of these conversations so people can
Yes.
know and know the questions to ask. So when they do go to their, insurance agents, they can go with a little more clarity and just consider what they need. So before we go, what would you say is your top advice, since we've been talking about to insure and not to insure, for couples who are considering insurance, for anyone considering insurance? What would you say would be your top advice as we get your final thoughts on this topic?
Okay. My top advice, simply, whether you're single, whether you're married, if you have a partner, what you need to do is take some time, figure out what it is that you want your money to do for you. Figure out where you are financially. Look at the whole picture. You have to look at, I don't want to say just look at insurance by itself, because it's just a part of the whole financial picture. You have to look at everything in totality. Look at all your assets, your liabilities. Is it you want to protect your assets? You might be a single person, no husband, no children, but you might have accumulated quite a bit of assets. I heard you mention entrepreneurs. You have your own business. You might consider taking out some business insurance or key man insurance. You might be in a partnership of a company, a major partner. You might need to take out some key man insurance. And so you need to look at what it is that you want to do, what you want to protect, who you want to protect, how much will it take for you to protect them, and then seek out quotes. Now, there's nothing wrong with seeking out quotes. If you get a quote from Jane Doe, go to Sally Sue or John Brown and get another quote from him, and comparatively shop. Don't feel pressured by anyone, be it house, car, health, medical, life insurance. Don't feel pressured to buy the first quote that you got. Shop around. Compare those figures. Then go back to your figures. Whether it's you as a single person, you and your spouse, your partner, sit down together. I think that's one of the challenges, is especially talking about money. We don't want to have the conversations around money. Some people get nervous, they get scared. It ain't as bad as you think it is, but you need to have the conversations together so that you can make the decision together. And especially for couples, both of you need to have your own personal, your own separate and apart life insurance. Okay? Because if something happens to one or the other person, at least there's some money's coming in, especially if you have a mortgage. The mortgage would be able to be paid off. So, like I said, sit down, think about what it is that you want, look at your whole financial picture, think about the assets that you want to protect, who you want to protect, and then, formulate a number in your mind. Don't let it be hard and fast, but formulate a number in your mind, and then get on the round, get the figures, compare them, see how they fit into your overall financial picture, and then make your decision.
Definitely.
Yes.
We know we said we were wrapping up, but we just want you to take a peek, just
Take a little jab.
yes, at this question that we had come in, and then of course we you could share your number and everything so that if people have additional questions or they could contact you and you could give them more information. This person says,
I'm a single mom with 3 kids. I was thinking about life insurance, but my income is $230 weekly. What should I do?
Okay, so for her, that would have to be a sit-down conversation, because we would need to look at the whole financial picture. We need to take into consideration her expenses. The thing is, there's nothing wrong if you can afford life insurance right now. It just simply means that, and I'm not saying she can't. Please, whoever the person is, I'm not saying that you cannot afford it. What I'm saying is maybe now might not be the right time, because the one thing you don't want to do is come and take out a policy and then you can't sustain the payments. I wouldn't want her to do that. I would want her to, let's have a conversation. Let's look at her overall financial picture and see if it's feasible to take out an insurance. It might not be the $50,000. Maybe she might be able to get, say, a $25,000 policy. And the thing with that, the key with that is, every time you get a question, something else just comes back to mind. As much as, yes, we want to ensure that we leave money for our kids, like the Bible tells us to, at the same time, if you do not instill in those children money management strategies, skills, and principles, leaving them any amount of money will not last. Okay? So it's all fine and good to do that, but you also need to instill in them principles. Like I said, we'd have to sit down and have a conversation and see what we can work. What's the best thing for her?
Okay.
It's not about, just selling her. Oh, you want life insurance? Come, let me write this. No, because you still have to live.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some other things that might take priority. Insurance might not be a priority right now, but let's take care of some other things, and then maybe we come back, or maybe we could take out a small policy that should anything happen to you, and so that would be my advice.
Awesome. Definitely great sharing.
Yes.
Very informative, Claudine said. Gabrielle said, thanks a million for this great info. Giselle,
You're welcome.
definitely great points and sharing, and shop around. I love that, right? Shop around, compare the quotes, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Don't be afraid. And listen, if they don't want to answer your question, run. They are not the person for you. They're
Definitely.
not
This
the
is
person.
this is like your hard-earned money, and you
Yeah,
want it to. And for most of what we're doing with insurance is taking care of our loved ones. It's not really
yes.
almost, just for us. It's
This
who we leave
no,
behind. And
it's the
so we
people you
definitely want
leave.
to make
Yeah.
sure that it's sorted out. Deborah said, very informative. Great job, Giselle.
Hi,
Keep up the great work,
Debbie.
Patrick.
That's a
Awesome. We
former
truly
colleague.
enjoyed this conversation and the information that is shared so that it could help, help a family, help a couple,
Yes.
so that we could truly live better lives and secure as much as we can for those
Yes.
who we leave behind if that happens. No one
Yes.
really wants to think about death.
No, but
Yeah.
it's
But
there. It's not going anywhere,
yeah,
and the only thing you can do is insurance is plan ahead. Plan ahead. That's
yeah.
all you can do. Plan ahead and let God take care of the rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead,
So,
Giselle. Share with our audience how they can reach you, how they could get in touch with you. Some people still have some questions.
oh,
Where are you and how they can reach you?
okay. So before I get into all of that, thank you so much, Vito and Linda, and Unique Couples. You guys rock. Okay. Thank you for
Thank
this
you, thank
Thank you.
you.
opportunity and this platform. I pray God's blessing upon you and your ministry, that it will continue to blossom, because you are indeed doing a great work. And it's so good to see young people, young people encouraging others.
Yes.
And so I wish you continued success on this journey. Like I said, thank you for the opportunity again tonight. I enjoyed the conversation, and anytime you want to have me again,
We have your
hit me
number.
up. Yes, get in contact with me. So, for those of you who want to find me, you can find me at Freeport Insurance Agents and Brokers, number 21B, West Mall Drive. We're right at the end of the road. If you turn by Kalina, come all the way down past Fidelity. We're right on the corner on the right-hand side. Our telephone number is 352-8501. Our website is www.f as in Fred, I as in Isaac, A as in Apple, Bahamas.com. And we are also on Instagram and Facebook. So you can connect with us there. For those of you that want to connect with me outside of that, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook. If you have any other questions, please, I'll put this out there. You can, I guess you could put this in the comments.
Okay.
You can send me an email if you want. You can email me directly at gtaylor, GTAYLOR at FIABahamas.com. You can reach out to me there. But like I said, I'm on social media, more so Instagram than Facebook. If you don't want to go through work, you can always shoot me you can shoot your question there. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions for you, or if you're not sure, I have an appointment. Now, listen, if you have an agent and if you're happy with your agent, continue along with your agent. Okay, if they're working out for you, continue along with them. But if you have questions and you are not sure, or you're not sure how to phrase the question that you want to present to your agent, you could shoot it to me. I'll help you out. I have no hangups about that, because
Send us let us know the email again. Go ahead with the email.
Taylor at FIABahamas.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So all of those are in the comments. You heard Giselle Taylor at Freeport Insurance Agents and Brokers. The number is there, 242-352-8501, and the website and her email is there as well. So you could contact her and ask the questions, ask the questions, because it's in asking the questions that you get the answers.
Yes.
You can get clarity to
Yes.
be able to shop around and know exactly what you need to help your family. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people, when you reach that point, I don't know that because I haven't reached there yet, but a lot of people who reach that, and people would have interviewed them, they are not concerned about with the money that they left, or what's going to happen, a goal that they didn't achieve, or most of the time, the main concerns that people have would be the family they left behind, and not
Yes.
doing what they needed to do with their relationship. So make sure you secure your family, and make sure that you are there for them even after you are gone. So
Yes.
that is definitely a main thing.
Yes. So
Yeah.
once again, we want to thank you, Giselle, for taking time out of your schedule to come on Unique Couples this evening to share
You're
with the
welcome.
community. It was very informative, lots of information. We also learned some new things as well. So
Okay,
we
good.
just want to thank you again. And for our Unique Couples community, I want to thank you as well for tuning in this evening. So go ahead and make sure you share, make sure you like.
Put your takeaways in the chat. And don't forget about our How to Strengthen Your Marriage group. If you want to be in the know with everything that's happening with couples, and if you are married, you definitely need to be in the How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. We have a 5-day challenge going on in there. It is how to strengthen your marriage and have the marriage of your dreams, even if your spouse doesn't want to. So ways that you could connect with your spouse on many different ways, no matter what type of relationship you're having now. Go ahead and join us in the How to Strengthen Your Marriage group, and definitely sign up to receive our How I Love Tracker. That is going to keep you on track on how you are loving your spouse on a daily basis. So you get to tick that off. So definitely request the How I Love Tracker when you join the How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. And we will see you on Mondays at 7:30 for Sip and Spill, right in the How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. So go ahead. The link is in the description. Join us, and just have fun with your marriage, right?
Yes, definitely. And then we also see you on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Unique Couples After Dark. So you want to make sure you tune in on Wednesday. And if you haven't subscribed to the Unique Couples YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the Unique Couples YouTube channel. Make sure you select all. So every time we go live, you will be notified. Yes. So go ahead and subscribe.
Share to help. Share to help.
Yes. We had fun sharing with you today. Here at Unique Couples, we are building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families. We love you guys. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of the week. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Whew.